Hi, my name is Nate Dorsey, Agronomic Solution Specialist with Platte Valley Equipment. And today I'm going to be talking about some resources that can help you set up and optimize your combine for harvest. Our service teams get a lot of questions about combines and settings every season, and they would love to answer these questions, but unfortunately, just like you, many of them are often tied up and busy with other repairs and things that are going on in the field. So there's a few recommendations that I have for how you can best find resources to help you understand how to optimize your machine and troubleshoot things in the field. The first of which is the operator's manual. And the operator's manual should have everything that you need to understand how to operate your machine, but also optimize it for field conditions. Now, the one downside to the operator's manual is that it is quite large and it can be difficult to navigate. So there's another really great resource that I want to make sure that you're aware of, which is the John Deere Equipment Plus app. The best way to find the John Deere Equipment Plus app is to go to the John Deere App Center. You can download this from the App Store or the Google Play Store. The App Center is a great tool because it curates all of John Deere's apps in one place. So if we look through here, we can see the apps AgLogic, MyTransfer, Operations Center Mobile. If we keep going down, we can find the Equipment Plus app. You'll also notice in this list there is a legacy app called Go Harvest. So a lot of this information used to be in this app, but everything is migrated over to Equipment Plus. So we can go ahead and click on Equipment Plus. We can download that to your phone or your tablet. Once you have the Equipment Plus app downloaded, let's go ahead and open it. Now the first thing that you'll do when you open it is that you'll be prompted to add a piece of equipment. If you're not prompted, there is a plus button at the bottom right hand corner. We can go ahead and click that, and we can go down to grain harvesters. Let's go ahead and click here. And today I'm sitting in the cab of a S760 combine. So we're going to look for our series, which is an S series. We're going to look for S760 through S790. That's the range of combine that I'm sitting in. But you would click whichever model is the one that you have. Now once we're on here, we can actually go ahead and edit the machine name. So if you have a specific name for your combine and your operation, you can go ahead and change it. For today, I'm just going to put in Combine 1 and click Save. This will go ahead and download all of the information that I need onto my phone. And so you will get a message here that says Important Equipment Plus does not replace the operator's manual. Read the operator's manual before using this product. So we can go ahead and click Accept. And let's go ahead and start with crop settings. So through here, this will walk us through the settings that we need to have on our combine to harvest in that specific crop. So let's say for this example, we're going to be harvesting corn dry. We can go ahead and go to the harvester outside settings. This will walk us through each piece or each step in optimizing this machine for that specific crop. Step 1 says separator grate spacers need to be installed in between the bottom of the rail and the top of the separator grates. We can go through steps 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 until we're all the way finished. We can go ahead and click over and it'll say you've just finished corn dry harvester outside settings. And then our next section that we would go through is the front end equipment settings. We can go ahead and go click next. This is what type of equipment are you using. We can say we're using a corn head. And it will say to extend the end feeder crop savers in down corn conditions. We can do this for each step, step 3, step 4, and there's good pictures and diagrams for each step that shows you exactly where on the machine or the header that we need to make those adjustments. And then just says that we finished the front end equipment settings, and next we'll do the inside settings. So this will walk us through the settings that we need to adjust on the display inside the cab. So here we have settings like chaffer clearance, our concaves, our zone chaffer clearance, fan speed, and the other things that we'll need to adjust and make sure that are correct inside of our display. Step 2 goes through our knife bank adjust settings. So we'll go through those. We'll go through each step until we're finished. Step 8, then we can click over. It says, well done. You just completed crop settings, corn dry. We can go back to our list. Now once you have all the settings for the outside settings, the front end, and also the inside settings, you'll want to verify that the quality of harvest is what you would expect. So you would go forward and harvest a section of your field, then you would go behind the machine and take some measurements. Now the Equipment Plus app has some really great tools to help you do that. So if you go to the bottom right-hand corner, you'll notice a button that says Tools. We can go ahead and click that. It says Instructions. This is Optimize Settings, and move forward and harvest for 30 seconds. Now for safety, we're going to stop. We're going to disengage the header and the separator, put on the parking brake, and turn off the engine. Then we can go ahead behind the combine, and we're going to take a 1 foot by 1 foot, so a 1 square foot area on the ground, and we're going to count the number of seeds that we see there. So we're going to sift through the residue and count all the seeds that we find, and then we're going to use the grain loss calculator that's part of this app to see if those losses are acceptable for us or not. So we can go over to the calculator tool, and in here we're going to change the crop to corn dry. We can go ahead and put in our mass if we need to, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with what we have here as a default. Our header width, let's say 30 feet, and our yield. So let's look at what our average yield was that we were seeing on the yield monitor. Let's say we were seeing about 190 bushels per acre, and then let's say we found 20 seeds on the ground. And we can go ahead and put the area that we measured. We measured a 1 foot by 1 foot, 1 square foot area, and now we can calculate the loss. So it says that we're seeing about a 6% loss, or 11.44 bushels per acre. Now you'll have to decide whether what you see in this calculator is an acceptable loss for you or not. In this example, I'm going to say that that's not an acceptable loss, and I'm going to want to try to figure out how to remedy that. So we can go to history, that shows what we just measured, and then go over to our performance tab, and this will walk us through additional settings that we can adjust to hopefully improve what we're seeing. So let's say we want to start with our separator. It's going to ask us if we feel the separator losses are acceptable. Let's say no. And then it will say, based on the vision track, are losses greater in the separator or in the cleaning shoe? Let's say that they're greater in the separator. It says for unthreshed loss, increase separator speed 50 to 100 RPM to reduce unthreshed loss. For separator loss, increase separator speed enough to separate without grain damage. Go ahead and make those changes. Now it's going to ask you, are unthreshed and or free grain losses reduced? Let's say we made some changes, we adjusted our separator speed, and now that those losses are reduced, we can go ahead and click yes. Now it will say lower residue equipment, continue to harvest, and calibrate vision track. Check sample for dirty or damaged kernels. Let's say we check our sample, it's clean, let's click yes. Does the sample have damaged kernels? No. Low residue equipment, continue to harvest, and calibrate vision track. Now we can adjust this for each setting on the combine. So we can do our separator, our shoe, our tailings, our tank, and make sure that we're getting a good harvest, but also minimizing our loss. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your local Platte Valley equipment location. We are always happy to help you, but hopefully you'll get a lot of value out of using not only your operator's manual, but also the Equipment Plus app and the many tools that are available there.